Hello, good day. Today we are just gonna, I'm gonna do a bit of like show and tell really. Somebody said something to me online and I was a bit like, oh, just can show you bits and bobs. So first off, what I've been kind of doing this week, I have been descaling. It is it's one of the sort of crappier jobs we call it, I think, of restoring razors and whatnot. Shave ready, sort scale. So it's got a crack there. So this side is scales that I've still got to fix. So I've got to do micro peening on that one, and that one. And then I'll leave them being and getting ready. This one as well, I think I'm just about going to be able to get away with doing a bit of micro peen, put a pin there, put a pin there. Job's a good one. These are all razors. These are all razors that are basically good to go, but I have no ambition to get them fixed at the moment because none of them are really talking to me. But they're all sort of, well, okay-ish razors. Maybe not that one. But I did actually grind this a little bit to show good steel, but I'm not sure about that one. I think it's past it. I keep going back to it thinking I can save it, but I don't think I can. Tiny Tim, anyone? Tiny Tim. Yeah, all just descaled. Bit of a shorty one there. But no real ambition to get them fixed quite yet. But the other pile I've got, these are, well, basically all sort of half decent razors. They need a bit of sort of finishing and well, sorting out. This one's a non-XL by Joseph Allen. This one's quite a heavy wedge. The actual bevel's nearly set on this. It's just lacking a bit on the heel. WH Oates. It's got like quite a heavy weight to that one. Try and find some. I've got got a few little shorties in here as well. So what I did at the weekend as well is I actually, I shortened some of the ones I've been just putting off, and this was one of them. Turned out quite nice. Little Puma 22. I really filled the hole with what's it called? The metal epoxy. I forget its name now. Its trade name. This is a nice Eric Anton Berg, proper wedge. Proper Swedish little wedge, really nice razor. It's a little stubby that I found somewhere. I actually got this from America now, I remember. Roberts Superior, not sure. Superior something. It's got a piece of like etching on it of sorts. It's hard to kind of tell out. I think it's a boat scene. It seems like quite a nice blade. So I'll get that reshod in some nice scales at some point. There's a croppie, another crop. There's this tiny little razor here. It says Wes, London, W-E-I-S-S. I've got to put a bit more research into that. It's got a really funky little bit there. And it's intended to be like that as well, because it's, you know, for all of its use, it's not got tremendous amount of sort of wear on it. What's this one? Oh yeah, this is another Joseph Allen. This one comes with some really funky wooden scales, like plywood. This is a really nice sprock. This one's always interested me since I first got it. It's got a bloody great big sort of shank on it. It's hard to sort of put it into comparison. Really big, sort of big shank on it, real wide. Yeah, adds a nice bit of weight to the blade. So I don't know, that one might be destined for me. I've not made up my mind yet. And this one's a Ford medley. which is a relatively probably old one, I'd say. It's got quite a bit of homeware, but from memory, when I put it on the stones, it was acting really nice on the stones. So even though it's got quite a bit of homeware on it, it might just be alright, if you know what I mean. Homeware don't mean it's going to shave bad. Some of the best shaves I've ever had from real bad homeware. This one's a Shepherd, warranted. And from my understanding, Shepherd's quite an old brand of razors. Again, quite a bit of homeware, but it looks very even and nice actually. Quite a bit of corrosion there, but it's never going to affect the edge. So that's another one that I'm a bit tempted to fix up. Like I will put some scales on it, whatever, at some point, and maybe move it on, but I don't know, it keeps tempting me, that one, a little bit. And I've got one of these army razors. Again, it's been in the wars. It's an army razor, but it's a oh sorry, I think it's M Hunter and Son Celebrated Razor, Talbot Works, Sheffield. And I'm sure I've touched on that brand before, but I can't quite remember it. This is an old Bengal cast steel, proper wedge. Again, real old sort of battle axe of a razor, but I quite like it when they're like that, a bit sort of beat up and everything. But from memory, the edge is still pretty decent, apart from the little flicky bit up at the toe. But yeah, so we'll see. But these are mainly ones I'm just going to reclad at some point, and well, I'll probably move on. Isn't it Eric Anton Berg frame back? It's got a few sort of little nibbles and that on the blade, but it'll probably turn out nice. And this one is an Edward, yeah, Savile. It's got like a picture of a stamp of like a swan, I believe. Seems quite nice, it does. And again, it's something I've got to put research in, because it's another quite old razor, that is. A bit older than, well, let's just say some. And this is, well, this is what they used to call a souvenir razor. It's got quite a nice grind on it. Souvenir, clone, like Valley. Well, not Valley, but it's in Germany. But it's an original, I always struggle with this name, so excuse me. But Schulze. It's a well-known Solingen make. This little bubba. This one's an Eric Anton Berg. I was just about to say it's a number 24, but it's Eric's version of it. Schumatt. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm not sure, but I think that's got something to do with America. Got another Geo IXL. It's got a few scratches on it, but I'll probably just reclad it and move it on. If somebody wants to sort of scratches out, they can then. There's a J. Helberg. Tremendous little razors. If you've never had one of these little razors, I highly recommend them. They're great to try, if anything else. Just little wedges, basically. And the mixture of little wedge with Swedish steel is just a really good combination. When you get them really sharp, man, they're like little lasers. They're really, well, I've always nicknamed them hair lasers. This one is at Atkinson Brothers, Sheffield, and it says it's got like a bear, I believe, in mind. I don't know nothing about them. I must say I've not really come across them. This one's got some, well, spine decorations, we call it. D. Durlam and Sons, Solingen, and I must say I have no idea who or what it is. But, and it says Burlam's Regent, always reliable. It's got some different kind of gimping on it as well. Sorry, I've just got to plug this in because I forgot that I didn't. Did I? Oh, I have plugged it in. We're alright. I ain't going to run out of juice. What one was that one? Scales. Oh, this is my Wilkinson Pall Malls. I've got a bigger version of this that I'm keeping. Just needs repinning, that one. Yeah, somebody put like a nail in it. So the other ones I'm definitely recladding. They're like next on the list to be reclad kind of thing. I've got to put a research into some of the razors because some of them, frankly, I just don't know nothing about. So I don't. I always like learning history of my razors. It's part of the reason why I do it. And then we've got this box coming up. That sprocket is really nice, man. probably lost, yeah, it's easily lost 2 or 3 mil on the edge. But the edge kind of still matches the spine, so it should be a lovely razor, lovely shaver. These crops are basically shave ready, they are. Well, they won't be now because I've taped them, but quick refresh and they'll be found. But in this box, yeah, so I showed somebody one of my razors that's going through my stones that I will actually show in a different video. And he did actually say to me, like, oh, that's just a lovely razor, I'd have to kind of keep that myself. But the problem is, I think we all collect for different reasons, for whatever reason. And mine's quite obscure reasons. Well, at least I think it is. Like, because I love metal. I love sharp things. I love metal. I love the grooming side of it. The attention that I give myself just for that, like, you know, moment in time. Bit of pampering, basically. I love it. Look, you've got to have a high level of sort of dexterity, skill, concentration, especially is one of my things that I try and nurture, focus on. Kind of all the above. So yeah, like he said, you got to keep that one kind of thing, and I'm like in my head thinking, do you know what? I'm not. Even though it's a really nice razor, I'm not gonna, because it's not talking to me for one. Even though it kind of should in a way. And I've also got this bloody box. So what's in this box, chaps? Well, it's just a random box I found, but it just, lo and behold, suits razors really well. Well, so this is my box, and this is my, and one of the things that makes me want to keep a razor is I can put my scales on it. Like, it's one of the things, like if I can fix it, if it comes to me with damaged scales and everything, I'm actually pleased, because it means I've got an excuse to kind of keep the razor in a way. Strange, but true. So we've got this A-Tour. I'm not 100% sure whether I will keep this, but anyway, it's in there, because they're bloody great razors. They really are. They really are one of the best razors in my opinion. They come from the era of really good Soligen steel. I've not touched this, it does need a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's not a frown, but the line of the edge does not match the razor. Like, instantly I can just tell by doing that. There's just a little bit of work to be had. Basically you've got to take a little tiny bit there. That's the very high point just there. They're great razors, and that's one of the best ones I've had. But sadly, it was broke at the pivot. I have saved it, and I am pondering to do my little micro peening with the backing of brass and everything. But anyway, I ain't got round to it yet. And this is a rather nice warranted cast steel. No sort of brand on it and anything. It's pretty much guaranteed Sheffield. Like, well, pretty much 100% sure kind of thing. But nice weight to it, and it's got, like, you know, one of my favourites. The spine's nice and curved, and the edge is nice and curved. It's not perfect to the spine, but well, we'll see. It's going to get some nice scales put back on it, something that's more fitting for it. I'm sure it had horn ones. And this is a Geo Wollaston Home pipe razor. There's something about it, it's a bit different from all the other pipe razors I've experienced before. But not in a bad way. It's just a bit different. So I was a bit intrigued by it. I ain't filled this one yet. You can tell a razor's age a little bit by some of its stamping on its holes as well. And then we've got one of my favourite razors from, well, frankly, one of my best, like, vintage brands. Sorry, I've had a bit of a cold. It's an MK31. They are just simply put one of the best razors in their weight class and grind categories. I can't see how anybody couldn't say they didn't, really. And it said Sodomorphos Extra Special Steel. And I can tell you that means special steel. Sodiphors, that might be the mine. I'm not, again, I need to do a bit more research, because I know that in Sweden they had the Dannemora mine, or was it Dannemora? And that was one of the most famous Swedish. And I had a bonus, because I found another MK31 in one of my drawers, because I've had a big clear out the last 2 weeks. So I've got 2 MK31s, and I've got one upstairs in my personal collection that I reclad in custom scales ages ago. So I might actually sell that one, because I love it, and it's got some etching on it. I forget what the etching's on it, But I've got 2 more, and I'm not somebody that wants to collect loads of MK31s, if you know what I mean. I want one. So I'm even going to keep that one as my new one, or that one as my new one. But I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I've got a bit of a thing for etching, but I don't know why that one's talking to me more. You get to this level of sort of collecting stroke restoring razors, and they got to talk to you, man. Or at least that's the way I look at it anyway. And this is, well, I was pleased to find this because I've been after one of these for a long time. It is, the grinding's a bit off though on the toe, I've just realised. But then they did do some funky grindings. Can't remember. It's a Wilkinson Pall Mall London. So Wilkinson sword, one of the original kind of, you know, razor makers basically. Been making razors and swords for a tremendous long time, or at least they did. I think they're pretty much sold out now, but... And this one is, well, basically this is the first Sheffield frame back that I've wanted to keep. It's got quite little sort of wear on it. It did have some quite nice etching on it at some stage, but it's kind of gone. But it does say universally approved. Can't quite make out the middle bit. Ready, and I imagine that says ready set. No, it says ready for use. That's what it does say. I just caught it. Yeah, so that one's going to get some nice, well, probably horn scale. Well, I'm not sure yet. I'm not gonna say anything about it. And this is one of my favourite razors that I ain't bloody shaved with yet. This is a really old Joseph Elliott, silver steel, and you can kind of tell that it's old because the stamping's quite rudimental, compared to their later work, and it's had a right old life, isn't it? But it's still in good nick to me. It's got all these pits and that, but they're never going to affect it. I seem to remember having a real good look at this area. There's a few tiny little microchips, and I ain't kidding you, this will take me definitely upwards of 6 hours worth of honing. You know what I mean? It is just a pure labour of love, if you could call it that. Because wedges like that just take such a long time. But I'm excited, man. It's like it's definitely the oldest Joseph Elliott's I've had, because it's not even got the suns, you see, either. And it's quite an old razor, like, it really is genuinely quite old. And this one's the special hollow grind Thomas Turner. I actually did a shave video of this with, I don't know, a month ago or whatever it was. And I'm debating keeping it. I don't know, I've just got so many bloody razors coming through the stones at the moment that I want to keep. So I do have what I call a rotating collection kind of thing. But then I've probably got about sort of 10 razors I'll never sell. My favourites. These are just some scales I've been collecting. These are some really old, these are the first scales I actually ever made, and I didn't end up using them because they're a bit too thick. But yeah, they were, and I'll put a stain on them that I weren't too happy with, but they're wenge, if anybody's interested. That's the grain on the back of that. I ruined it by putting that sort of, but I can sand it back, which I will do at some point, because I think it's actually quite a decent razor material. That one's called cracked ice, I believe. I think it's called cracked ice. Nice scales. Can't remember why they're in there. That's a bone one. Nice little dainty bone. Some really pretty scales. Quite a thick lead wedge on that. It's quite rare for that type of scale. That one's got some stamping on it. That's off an MK. It's an MK29, 30 that is. I'm sure it was, or was it an MK31? Yeah, look, it's MK30 that was. It was a lovely little MK30, but it had a split in it. Yeah. See the hole, look. It's out by, I don't know, 4 mil. You don't really see many MK30s about. There's an MK29 as well, but I've had one of them. Yeah, so that's the ones. And that's why when somebody sometimes says to me, oh, you've got to keep that one. It's like, well, yeah, but the thing is, I've got lots of razors coming through the stones, and I've got even more. But some lovely ones in there. Right. So that's kind of what I've been up to